So Caitlin Clark obviously is, look, she's the biggest name in women's basketball right now. Maybe the biggest name in basketball with the way things are going. But today's video we have to talk about something that is very, very much interesting. And it is Elle Duncan talking about Caitlin Clark on First Take this morning. And look, say not Elle Duncan, Jesus, Chinea Nwumeke. I don't know why I mixed the two of them. Elle Duncan works for ESPN. This was Chinea Nwumeke. And this is what she said. And people were talking about how Caitlin Clark moves the needle. And I'm actually surprised they came out and said this. Like, they were this forward about it. Because in fairness, like, look, I don't think Chinea Nwumeke has been right with everything she says. But when you're in the takes business, when you're talking about a sport, you're going to be right almost as often as you're wrong. Like, the fact... people in basketball decisions that are right more often than wrong. People are paid millions of dollars and are wrong more often than right. So I think that's what people don't understand is like, when it comes to Chinea, the Chinea Nwumke's probably said some stuff that might piss off people. Like, I've definitely said stuff that'll piss off people. At the end of the day, like, when new information is there, being able to change your mind is something that should be looked more positively towards, because I would rather someone who is wrong and not be stubborn and be able to change your mind, because in my opinion, that's just life, and that's just the way I try to live. Whereas, like, I'm going to be wrong. I've been, like, in my 2000 videos, I've been wrong a lot. But I would hope that when you're wrong, rather than being stubborn and being wrong, it's like, when you're wrong, own being wrong, and that's just the way to grow in general. But anyway, let's take a listen to Chinea.
Say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle, that is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was #1. And most importantly, I think people look at this and think she said no. That's not the case. She said she wants her first competition to be an Indy at WNBA All-Star, which to me is huge. People don't see the numbers below, like the economic impact.
Elle Duncan is just nodding. Elle Duncan is just nodding to this.
$6 million she drove to Indianapolis just by showing up as a rookie and making history. And so I understand her point of view. She wants to probably let other athletes shine. And she also says, like, it's like earned, not given. There are previous winners that should have an opportunity to probably compete. Alicia Gray is the reigning WNBA three-point contest champion. The same.
Look at Stephen A's face here. Stephen A's right, where it's like All-Star Game is a showcase. You don't earn a spot in the NBA three-point or at NBA All-Star Weekend based on what you've done in the WNBA season. I get it, Sabrina Ionescu. She was a bigger name. I know what she did was unbelievable. Genuinely, what she did was crazy in the WNBA three-point contest. But, like, she's not trying to take... It's not to take shine from Alicia Gray. She wants everyone watching the WNBA three-point contest. Like, it's nothing to do with earned, not given. Let's be real. It's nothing to do with earned, not given. Because, as Stephen A. Smith's face would show, Caitlin Clark maybe didn't earn it via three-point contest, but, like, look, Alicia Gray won the three-point contest because none of the best three-point shooters entered the contest. Like, we can call a spade here. Most of the best three-point shooters did not enter the contest. I'm pretty sure the final was her versus Dolson versus Jonquel. And they're good shooters, don't get me wrong. But Leonie Fibich was not in the three-point contest. Sabrina Ionescu was not in the three-point contest. Caitlin Clark was not in the three-point contest. Chatting of other, like, high-level shooters. At the time, Lexi Hull wasn't, so fair enough. But, like, Alicia Gray's a good shooter, but she won a kind of weakened-ish field in the three-point contest.
Same way that Sabrina Ionescu entered the competition after winning in 2023, there are other people that can use that spotlight to compete as well. So I think Caitlin, she moves because she knows people follow her no matter.
There is nobody that can use... We can be honest here. There is nobody that can use... There's nobody that the W or the NBA would bring in that's not named Sabrina Ionescu or Caitlin Clark. Maybe if Enrique could actually shoot the three ball particularly well, maybe. If Stewie or Fee or Aja were good enough shooters, then cool, they could. But none of them are good enough shooters to compete with Stephen Curry. That's why it has to be Sabrina. Like, Paige Beckers, maybe? If Paige Beckers, obviously you can't do it this year, but next year, Paige Beckers is shooting the three ball well. Yeah, you can bring in Paige Beckers to do that. But as far as three-point specialists that are as big names as are huge names. It is literally just Steph or Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu. That's it.
Matter where she goes, and she's very strategic about dictating where her value is.
I'm detecting you don't agree, Stephen A.
You're detecting wrong. I do agree with her.
Okay.
I am just disappointed in some of the points she negated to bring up. So I'm going to bring them up.
Perfect.
Okay. First of all, touching on the points that you brought up, let's throw out some numbers here, okay? When you're talking about the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game on ABC, it was watched by an average audience of 3.4 million viewers, making it the largest audience ever for a WNBA All-Star Game. That's number one. Number two, the 2024 NBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis drew a disappointing rating. They were averaging about 5.5 million viewers across TNT.
Jesus. Only 2 million more people watch the NBA All-Star Weekend. Like, I hate the All-Star Game. I remember I tweeted out one time that the NBA All-Star Game is a glorified layup line, and I got killed. And then 90 minutes later, Jaylen Brown calls it a glorified layup line. The actual words that I'd use, and I got killed on social media for it. But it was back in my 2K days where people just... Like, if you think people hate me now on social media, like if you've seen some of the stuff on Twitter that's been said, like back in my 2K days, people hated me. But yeah. But no, like the All-Star Game was great in the WNBA last year. It was fantastic. We got to see Enrique going off, Caitlin Clark setting the assist record in a half for rookies. Almost like basically not setting the overall assist record because she chose not to. And Angel Reese just destroying them on the boards.
TBS and other places. The figure marked the second lowest in history, trailing only the previous year. Okay, so that's what the state of the NBA is. The other point to be made: that 3-point contest between Ionescu and Steph Curry had peak viewership of 5.4 million from 10 to 10:15 p.m.
So oh my God, as many people watched that as watched the All-Star Game.
Eastern Standard Time. The event was the most watched NBA All-Star Saturday night in 4 years. Why do I bring all of that up? I totally applaud what Caitlin Clark is doing. She's putting the WNBA first. She's saying, yo, we matter first to me. We should matter first to the ladies.
Like, that is very true. And I actually have to applaud Stephen A. Smith for saying it. And I always find it funny that the people that talk about growing the WNBA game, they didn't want Caitlin Clark to do the NBA one, but now that she's not doing it, it's a problem. They didn't think she deserved to be... These people were complaining that Caitlin Clark didn't deserve to be in the NBA one because she didn't win the WNBA 3-point contest last year, as she chose to sit out. And then when she says no, they have a problem with her saying no. And then when she goes to the WNBA one, they're saying it's unfair for her to take she's only doing to take the shine off other players. I'm like, these people, like, a lot of these grow the game folks, actually, they don't want it. They want to ungrow the game because they've realized, okay, they never thought, they were pushing grow the game because they never thought that it was ever going to happen. So they constantly talked about growing the game, this, growing the game, that. But they realize now that the game has grown and mainstream media is looking more at the WNBA stuff. And they're just way better at mainstream media than the horrific media the WNBA had. And yeah, now that it's become more mainstream, they're getting pushed out. So they're trying to ungrow the game. And that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen as long as players like Caitlin Clark exist. As long as players like Sabrina Ionescu exist. As long as players like Angel Reese, Juju Watkins, Hannah Hidalgo, Paige Beckers, Tanaya Latson, Lauren Betts, Cameron Brink, Camila Cardoso, Flaw J. Johnson. As long as all of these players exist, the game will never ungrow. And especially because we're now seeing it. That it used to be, it's an honor to be asked to go to NBA All-Star Weekend. There's now a player that is big enough that she can say, nope, I don't care about the NBA. My job is I'm going to perform in front of my fans in my league, which is all any WNBA person should ask for. But the grow the game crowd are going to have a problem with the biggest name in the history of women's basketball growing the game. Anyway, I'll see you guys.